remember there's people that are from all different parts of the world and different times. You know what, guys? It's been frustrating lately with the live streams because I've really been enjoying doing them, and I know all of you have, and I want to keep them. I want to do them daily for as long as I can, 2 hours at a time. But it's getting challenging in London because a lot of the hotels and coffee shops, two challenges that I face. Number one, it's not like the old days where, you know, I could buy coffees, food, sit down somewhere, and they didn't mind me doing a live stream. Now people get very upset. We're living in sensitive times. Even if you're doing a stream about positive things, it can trigger people. That's one challenge, right? The second challenge, which is more challenging, is a lot of these places now put on music, and obviously because of the copyright on YouTube, I don't want to get you know, copyrighted or strikes on the channel, and it's also inconvenient when I'm trying to do a talk, help, mentor, connect, answer questions, and there's music in the back. So I've come to be grateful for the fact that I can always do it in my apartment. It's peaceful here, it's quiet, and then every now and then, because basically at the Corinthia, I've got a good relationship. One of the staff there, you know, there's a gentleman there. He's a really nice guy. He's married, family man, and he knows me from like 4 years of going there. So when he's there, like, he's just amazing. He doesn't get in the way. I can stay longer, but he's not always there, and I couldn't get a connection. So challenges. So I'm going to keep working around it because I've built a lot of momentum, and I've worked really hard, and a lot of you. You know, I appreciate all of you coming on. So it's something that I don't want to stop because it's kind of relevant to all of the questions that I get from all of you and clients, and for all of us on this journey. It's, you know, how do you get the courage to keep going and not give up? And a big part of that is momentum, you know, of whatever you're trying to achieve, whether it's gym, business, health, relationships, just living a better life from day to day. So I want to keep the momentum going because the streams are growing, you know, not just in terms of numbers, but the impact, and I could feel it. So, you know, wanted to get that out of the way for a start. It's frustrating though, because I love doing the streams in different places. I mean, I enjoy doing them at home, but not all the time, because I'm running a business, you know, I'm going to the gym, and I'm someone that I don't like staying at home too long, and I say that to anyone. It's not good for your mental health. I like to come home knowing that I've done a hard day's work, got a lot done, given everything that I've got, and then I can come back home and relax. Obviously, a few days here and is good. I think because we had a long time in COVID of staying at home, and some of it you enjoy, and it's kind of contradictory to what I'm trying to help people with, and that's to come outside your comfort zone. And, you know, it's not good for anybody, but especially people that suffer with an anxiety disorder. The last place that they want to be for long periods of time is at home on their own. You know, because when you're at home, you're not in the gym. When you're at home, you're not socializing with people. When you're at home, unless you work from home, you run a business. But most people that run businesses that I know and speak to, they don't enjoy being at home too long because it can be counterproductive to the quality of focus and work that they're trying to do. You know what it's like being at home. It's too comfortable. It's too familiar. So that's how I feel about it. What can you do, man? That's life. It's, you know, you've got to work through challenges. But I'm pleased that we've got I've still got we've got a lot of streams done recently. I've got a hell of a load done in the hotels, different places, and I'll do them every now and then when I can. As I said, it's just chance that there's not music in the background and there's not too many people around, because obviously I respect other people as well. You know, it's a difficult one, because if I went to a hotel, if I'm in a mood where I just want to relax and I just want some peace and quiet, it would annoy me if someone was on their phone or a live stream speaking loud. But if it was positive stuff, I'd really enjoy it. But you know what people are like. People get sensitive with stuff, so it's just respecting others. Right, so today's, I couldn't decide today what to talk about because there's a lot to talk about. The main thing that kept coming in is how to teach people not to give up. That's challenging. It's challenging for me not to give up every single day. It's challenging, I mean, life's challenging even when it's going well. But I have done pretty well, my clients are doing well, so we'll go through some of that. I don't know if you guys and girls were on the stream yesterday, And I explained that I did this challenge that I didn't plan to do. It's amazing. I'll go into it now. Basically, it's to stay in the sauna for 30 minutes. I mean, listen, that may sound not like a lot. Do you know how challenging that is at 90 degrees heat if you're someone that you're not practiced at it. And I used to just stay in the sauna probably for 5 minutes on average. After 5, 6, I'd be like, I've got to get out. So I was in the sauna a couple of days ago. I told this story yesterday, so if I do repeat, apologies for repeating, it needs to be repeated. So I was in the sauna, it's just a group of guys in there, regular gym goers. And I thought, well, let me break the ice, because I feel quite comfortable in these situations, but I know how people can feel. People get very uncomfortable in social situations, especially in Britain, I found. It depends, but so I just was being friendly, broke the ice and the tension, and it made everyone feel relaxed, and me as well. So we just got into a conversation, and I just said to the guys, how long do you lot usually stay in here? It's hot today, it's hotter than it usually is. And one guy said, up to 20 minutes. I was like, wow, 20 minutes, that's a lot, wow. And then he said, he said 30 minutes is meant to be ideal for your health. And I was like, wow, I've never done 20 minutes, you've inspired me. Then another guy was commenting about the gym, blah, blah, blah. So the other guy, 2 guys got out, and I just got into conversation with this guy. I was asking where I was from. I said, Paddington. He's from the same place, from the same place, coincidence. Anyway, as we're getting speaking, the time's going, and I'm like, I'm pleased that I've done longer than I usually do. So usually I stay for about 5, 6 minutes, I get out. Unconsciously, because I give in mentally. So it got to about 10 minutes, and then I was talking with him, and then when it got to 15, I was struggling. I managed to stay for 20 minutes, and then he left and I got out. And I said, thanks, mate, you inspired me, because I didn't think of doing this. I'm into mental toughness, and I'm doing it. I practice it in a lot of other areas, and I'm trying to teach it to more people, my clients especially. So I do it in the boxing, I do it in the running, but obviously there's other areas where you can practice these sorts of things. Cold showers is another thing I'm going to get into at some point that I'm still a novice at. My client, Phil, he inspired me. He told me about it. I heard about it before, but he inspired me. Anyway, we'll get to that. Cold showers and saunas. So when he said to me 30 minutes, I've got a competitive mindset as well. I hope all of you have got that as well, healthy mindset. I thought I have to try that next time, because 20 minutes was tough, right? I struggled. So the next day I made my daily discipline list, got to do business stuff. I got a client, I'm going to do my eating healthy, clean my apartment, make my bed, my gratitude. I'm going to go, I love working out, as you can hear. This is kind of what I live for, this stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm going to the sauna. That's going to be at the end of my workout, and I'm going to try and stay for longer than 20 minutes. I knew that if I said 30 minutes, I'm not going to do it. So I said, let me just try 21 minutes, right? Good evening, man. I am well. Hope you're well as well. Thank you for coming on the stream. So I've gone in the sauna with a mindset that I have to do more than 20 minutes. Anything less than 20 minutes, I've failed. I've given in. I've been a coward, right? So I went to the steam first, because the steam's easier, just a little bit of luxury. So I've got into the sauna, it's packed. I thought, no excuses, because I've tried to get up. My mind went, leave it, another day, there's too many. And I said, no, I don't care how many people are in there. There's space. It's packed, guys, right? It's not a massive sauna. There's about 8 people in there. It's full up, right? And in my mind, I got inspired actually by a guy called, maybe some of you know him. He's on the Teddy Atlas podcast. His name's Ken. He's a nice fella. He's done marathon running. He's got a great story. He overcome drug addiction. He made a lot of money, lost it. And I like his mindset around training, and he's a good person. And I remember hearing him say that when he's competing with running, he wants to wipe everyone out. Obviously when he's doing a marathon, but he said as soon as he finishes, he's like, I'm the nicest person in the world, wouldn't harm anybody. And I thought I can relate to that, and that's good to have that competitive mindset. I think today sometimes we feel guilty if we say that we got that mindset, and I think no, that can be in a healthy way. You need competition in sport, just same way that Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, they need each other. They make each other a lot of money, and they help each other to compete, and it inspires a lot of people. Obviously healthy, I'm not into being nasty to people, that kind of stuff that goes too far. Anyway, So my mindset is, I'm not leaving this sauna until I'm the last person in here. And that means I have to do 30 minutes. So I'm looking at the clock, which is the worst thing to do. And 5 minutes is gone. I'm like, oh, I'm good actually. This is fine. 10 minutes goes by and I'm like, I can do this. This is easy. Well, I spoke too soon. It got to 15. I was like, I'm breathing a bit, but I can handle this. I started to go into what David Goggins would say, my mental toolbox. When I need to go in and get extra strength, I'll go into my own thought process. I'll dig things out. I'll go into times in my life where I was boxing or someone inspired me. I was struggling. I think of whatever. But when it got to, good to see you, Timmy. I can't wait for your jokes this evening. Let's see what Timmy pulls out the bag. More insults, Timmy. What are you going to say? You're lucky. You're lucky. I'm in a good mood, man. Otherwise, I give you a strike, right? So I'm in the sauna and I'm thinking, what's interesting about psychology, anyway. People start to leave. You hear it. Everyone's like, because you do get stressed in there. Like the last thing you want to do is start having a conversation when you can't breathe, you're struggling, unless you're really experienced, right? So people start leaving, they start giving in. And it's making me feel a bit relief. I'm like, right, there was 8 people in the sauna. I'm counting, I'm looking around, there's 6. I'm like, there's 5, there's 4, then there's 4, and then someone else comes in, I'm like, oh. And then it's down to 3 of us, and I'm like, I'm not leaving here. I don't care well, not literally, but I'm like, I'm willing to kind of die, but not really die, but I really want to do this record. I have to do it. Like, I feel like if I don't do this, I'm going to let all of you down. Like, I'm going to let all my clients down. I don't want to do that, right? It's cheesy, isn't it? So it gets down to 2 of us. There was another guy in there. He was pumped up, right? He had his, I don't know how he had it. He had headphones in the sauna. He was breathing heavy. He was talking to himself. It was kind of stressing me out. It was stressing everyone out. But I was the same. You start getting stressed. It's mentally challenging. Like you're just literally feel like you're suffocating in there, right? So it comes down to mental toughness, sauna time. That's what I'm going to start doing with my clients on the high-end programs. Take them to the sauna. It's not a bad idea. This guy eventually leaves, right? And then I think it's 3 of us left, and it gets to 20 minutes, and I'm dying. I'm thinking I can't do it. I want to get out. I can't do another. 10 minutes feels like another hour. So it's got to 20 minutes, and I'm suffocating. I'm putting my head down. I'm trying to breathe. I'm sitting up. I'm trying to be present. I'm trying every spiritual practice, breathing. I'm praying. It's not working. I'm struggling. My mind's killing me. I'm just thinking, I want to get out of this place. I want to have my water. I just want to be, the pain, the agony. It's horrible. And then I'm thinking mental toughness. It's all about growing. I'm trying everything. Everyone at my teaching, I'm listening. I'm going over what I've learned from David Goggins. I'm going over everything. I'm trying to, everything I'm trying to do. I'm like, man, I'm a softie, man. I can't handle this. It's gone on to 21 minutes. I'm thinking 9 minutes. Like I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So I lay down and it's scorching, and it gets to about 24 minutes, and I'm like, oh please. I start, psychological. I had to trick my mind. I was like, I'm gonna get out now. I can't handle it. At least I've done 24 minutes. Then it got to 25. Last 5 minutes, I'm thinking, I'm counting in my head, guys. I'm counting sheep now, right? I'm sorry to bore all of you, right? I'm counting, right? There's 5 minutes left, and I'm going in my head, just count to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my brain sees, and I'm in pain. My whole, the breathing, it's the altitude. It's like you can't breathe, and you just feel stressed. You want to get out, Imagine being on the tube, right? And it's 90 degrees. You're stuck, like you just want to get out. So it gets to 27 minutes. I'm like, 3 minutes to go. It's hell. 28, and I make it. I make it to 30 minutes. About 31, and I get out, and I'm like, I nearly pass out. That's when I came out. I had to lean over. There's a little water fountain. I had to leave. I thought I was going to faint. But I was really proud of myself for doing it. And then it just gave me some extra context of how anybody with the right mindset can get mentally stronger. And this, of course, it coincides with anxiety. It's an anxiety practice, because that's what happens when you're under immense amount of stress. And I found that same truth with different situations in life that I'm going to do videos on this. I'm going to do a whole event on this soon. I'm still learning and going over it. I have a lot of gratitude. Sorry, guys, get your questions in. So when you're under immense amounts of stress, like being in a hot sauna, and half an hour is a long time, even 20 minutes, you're dealing with your mind. You know, it is anxiety. You know, you're irritable, and it is a battle. You know, it's probably, I know it's not as, it's a lesser challenge, but what the Navy SEALs probably go through when these guys do crazy things. Like, that's another idea I've got at some point. And I've got all these ideas. Let's see. But when you come out, and that's what this title of this video is about, you have the amazing peace. Like, you're so peaceful. Well, I am. You're so peaceful. It's such a great feeling, because you put yourself through something that is challenging. What do you say? Navy SEALs train on fruit machines in saunas. You crack me up there. Timmy's got probably the best humour on this channel. I just wish he'd do one of my programs. He doesn't give me a penny, but he makes me laugh, so that's all right. Crack me up. That's what I'm going to do, man. Next event, I'm taking all of you to the sauna, 90 degrees heat, and none of you are coming out until you do 30 minutes, right? That's why I got sauna burn everywhere, right? So when you come out, you just feel so relieved. And now Timmy always gives me the giggles. You always do this, Timmy, man. It's your fault. I can't do the live stream because all the jokes that you've made over the years have traumatized me. Oh, man. I'm not joking, right? I'm still dehydrated from the sauna. It's a nice feeling. But yeah, obviously anyone out there, I'm not a doctor, right? So be careful about staying in too long, because I think, you know, I was talking to someone today and they were saying to me that, I don't know where it was, but they used to do a competition. They stopped it because, you know, apparently this is true. They said a couple of people died because they stayed in there too long for hours, right? So be careful, anyone that's going to do that. I wouldn't recommend more than 30 minutes, 30 minutes, right? Just want to put that out there. So, yeah, when you come out, you feel really grateful. And it's just like, how can I explain it without over exaggerating it, but not underplaying it? So basically, when I do my runs, I'm going to do a lot of events soon, hopefully coming up. And I've got different ideas for those of you that really want to challenge yourself and grow. So I don't know if you've seen my clips online that I put out to inspire people. I do a lot of running. I like running. And I do hill running. Now, hill running what's the right word? It's challenging. You know, if you've been doing it a long time, then you get used to it. But for someone who's not been doing it a long time, it is extremely challenging. When I first got introduced to hill running, because I wouldn't have done it before, I didn't know about it. It was a friend of mine that introduced me to it. He was very athletic. He almost become a professional footballer, a good friend of mine growing up. And then when I boxed in the amateurs, I boxed at different clubs. I boxed at St Pancras, where I had my fight. They took us for a run around Hampstead, Primrose Hill, and then up the hills in Primrose Hill, and it destroyed me, right? Obviously, even if you go up at a slow pace, but I go up at if you sprint up there, like if you're not fit, you'll get sick. You will, until you're conditioned. So that is another way that you can get that peace that I'm trying to encourage people to get today, that I got from the sauna. Anything that challenges you mentally, emotionally, spiritually for a sustained amount of time that you put yourself through. David Goggins talks about this really well. He articulates it well. Is going to make you grow stronger. So that's another way you can do it. And boxing did that, the sparring back in the day, very humbling. When I again, it depends on, you know, obviously, look, let me make a point. If you just go into a sauna for a minute, it's not going to challenge you. It's too short the time, right? You're not, there's a certain time threshold where your mind's going to be challenged. So 1 minute ain't going to do it. And that's like the same analogy for if you walk up a hill at the pace of a snail, you're not going to build mental, it's better than nothing, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to build mental toughness. It's not intense enough. So if you go into a boxing ring and you don't spar with full contact, or you know, you don't have a proper spar, you're just tapping each other, you're not gonna grow, you're not gonna learn how to fight, you're not gonna get stronger mentally, right? So the intensity and the level of stress and the level of mental and emotional suffering that you're willing to put yourself through and grow through is going to make you strong. So yeah, you know, that's an ongoing truth that I like to teach and pass on. Same with public speaking. I've done hundreds of public talks over the years, and quite a few of the clients that I'm mentoring at the moment, especially Phil and James, they do public talks. Phil doing amazing, doing events. That's another situation that is highly stressful for every human being until you do it consistently and you get good at it. And that is one of the things to work. That's something to be excited about. So I did 30 minutes yesterday in the sauna, and I did it today. Today was extremely challenging. I'm not sure if I'm going to do tomorrow. I've got a client tomorrow. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. Does that make sense? So I hope today I have explained and motivated and educated and given you a strategy on how you can find the courage to face your anxiety so you can experience that peace afterwards. That peace afterwards is an amazing feeling. It is it's a peace that is hard to explain unless you experience it. Everyone's experienced it at some point. Maybe some of you can tell me when you have. It might have been a while ago or recent. But most people don't challenge themselves consistently enough because of anxiety, fear, a lack of focus, not having goals, being too complacent, not having a mentor. So we're trying to change that, right? People that want to change their life. Now, I want to make a point of saying, of course, there's a balance with everything. So I'm not saying that you should like break your mental health down to prove that you're tough. No, that's not smart. So of course you have to rest. There is a time to work hard and challenge yourself and put yourself through challenging exercises, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. But there is a time to come away and rest because you don't want to break yourself down. That's really important. And when I'm working with clients, I'm always really careful, make sure that they're not doing that. And I'm the same with myself. So that's important. But it's also important that you don't deceive yourself and lie and say that you're challenging yourself when you're not. Like I said, obviously going for a run for anyone is brilliant exercise. And I recommend people start off at a slow pace to build up stamina. But it wouldn't be honest, it wouldn't be great for someone that wants to be stronger mentally and emotionally if they were not challenging themselves at some point when they were going out on runs. So example, let's say you just started running from tomorrow. That's fine if you just do 20 minutes, even 15 at a slow pace. That's brilliant. But that wouldn't be ideal to do that for 6 months if you really want to improve and grow, because there's no intensity. It's not going to challenge you. It's too comfortable. So you have to get uncomfortable. You have to challenge yourself. You have to put certain stresses on the body and the mind and the spirit for it to grow stronger. In the same way, it would be like someone wanting to build muscle. They go to the gym and they lift, 1 kilo dumbbells. It's not heavy enough. Maybe at the start that's better than nothing, but at some point you're going to have to increase the weights. You're going to have to increase the intensity to put enough stress on the muscle to break the muscle tissue down so it grows stronger and bigger. In the same way with the psychology, with the mind, the body, the soul, and the spirit, if you want to strengthen it, then you've got to put it under enough stress. And I would even say that a lot of people, I've done this too, some people train for 2 hours, but in that 2 hours, there's not a minute of real intensity. So although 2 hours is brilliant, of course it's better than nothing. But if we're being really honest, if you look at the workout, during those 2 hours, you're not close to being like out of breath or challenged or at the point where you want to give up, and you're not going to grow like that. So I don't know if some of you have seen my videos. I don't do it on every video, most of them. When I go on the bag, usually, I mean, you're seeing little clips online, you're not seeing the full workout, but I don't stop till I push myself till I can't go on anymore. In most, not every workout, because I don't burn out, but most of them I do. I push myself, because I learned from the amateurs that if you don't, then you're not honest, you're not going to grow as a person. Does that make sense? And that's no different to anything in life. For someone that wants to start a YouTube channel, they're not going to grow their YouTube channel if they don't go through the challenges of no one watching their videos, no likes, or getting criticism, or not being that good at the start on camera. Not because they're not good enough, because they've not worked hard enough yet. You're not developed. You haven't stuck at it. So to grow on YouTube and to inspire people and speak better, you'd have to put yourself through the intensity of being consistent and sticking in there. And we all know that, right? That having an honest conversation with anybody, whether it's therapy, a mentor, even with yourself or doing on a video, it can be very challenging internally. Other people might not be seeing what you're going through and you're growing through, but inside you feel it. I know I've been through it, I'm human, and I've helped my clients every week, but you get stronger. So initially for a lot of people, it's not easy for people to be honest about their insecurities. Everybody finds it easy to talk about their strengths because they're not going to be judged in that way, even though they can still get criticized. But to be vulnerable and say, these are the things that I'm insecure about, that takes a lot of strength, and you've got to go through a level of suffering and stress until you get used to it. You no longer care what people think. And that's what I've learned on my journey, still learning. So there's many areas of life where you can put yourself through a process of strengthening your mind, building mental toughness, mental strength, character, and becoming a better person. Where you can do it in your fitness life, which is what I teach on programs. You can do it in your relationships, communication, business. It's kind of no limits. And obviously you can do extreme things that I do like. People go on marathon runs. By the way, if any of you've done that, let me know. I think that's great. It's something I'd love to do. So, and obviously there's been quite a popular thing now with the cold showers, and I've done it a little bit, and it works. It's challenging. I've started to do that. It's really challenging, and obviously until you get used to it, and then you can continue to grow. So, it's all about how much do you want to improve, how much do you want to challenge yourself, and obviously it's very rewarding, and it gives you a lot of gratitude. It makes you more humble. I think there's a popular belief that I don't agree on in our culture, in society, amongst some people. They feel like it makes you arrogant or cocky if you're someone that develops yourself, and I don't agree on that. I think that's such a poor attitude. I think it does the opposite, unless you're outrightly an arrogant person. But most people that work hard are very humble. The process of going through that suffering, it humbles you. It makes you care about people more. It makes you respect people more, but it makes you a stronger person. It makes you have stronger personal boundaries and, not let people walk all over you. So I love this stuff, and it's life-changing, and it's changed my life and my clients, and, all the mentors that I look up to. I've seen how much they change and continue to grow. So it doesn't matter what your age is or what your background is. Everyone can improve themselves and grow stronger if they want to. It's all about how willing you are, and if you're going to put the work in and train and work at it, because that's what it is. It's training. You're training your mind. You're training your mind physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, if anybody's worked in sales, you'd know how mentally challenging that is. Any sales job, door to door, working on cold calling, I've done that. I did door to door years ago, and obviously I run a business now, so I've been doing a lot of selling in different businesses. I used to work for companies. It's all selling. I worked in retail, selling clothes. I worked on a market stall, selling shoes. I've run a business. Selling my products and my services. So that selling is challenging because you get a lot of rejection. And it's challenging to face those fears, and you've got to face those emotions. But the more you do it, and the tougher you get, the more rewarding it is. And then you make the sales, you fail your way to success, which is the words of Les Brown, which I've lived. But if you are not committed enough, then you don't succeed because you opt out. You know, you metaphorically leave the sauna after 5-10 minutes rather than sticking out for 20 or 30. You metaphorically jump out of the ring in boxing in a sparring session when it's getting difficult, as opposed to hanging in there for another extra minute or 30 seconds when the bell goes. You guys girls see my point? Or people sometimes will exit a public talk or a conversation with someone or a video or social communication with friends, family, when they start to feel a bit awkward and self-conscious. Instead of staying there and just letting the person see them awkward and being vulnerable and accepting that, people opt out. I've done it many times. And then they go away and they beat themselves up because they know that they left when it got challenging. So that's really the premise of today's talk, is don't quit when things get challenging, because they get challenging for all of us at some point. But if you've got a different mindset, you can really, I'm not sure if excited is the right word, but it can be words, but it can give you great purpose in life, knowing that, and then you value it more. You value things that come with challenge, that don't come easy, whether that's earning money, working hard, whether that's helping someone, whether that's losing weight, whether that's improving your anxiety, whether that's strengthening your mental health, whether that's helping a client to grow or making a difference, or, you know, getting past some of your traumas, your issues, beating an addiction. We value something that is very, very difficult to achieve, and that's intrinsic in human nature. But we also fear it as well. We have tremendous amounts of fears and anxieties and insecurities. We all do. Part of us doesn't like suffering. We don't want to fail. We don't want to feel insecure. We don't want to be accountable. We don't want to go through that process of, you know, as the good old Les Brown would say, when life knocks you down and it keeps knocking you down, to get back up again and again and again until you succeed. People don't like going through that unless they've gone through it and they've achieved the valuable growth that they want. So if you want to grow, then you've got to put yourself through challenges. But if you don't want to grow, then you're not going to do that. You're going to stay stuck. You're going to stay as you are, and that's your choice, your right to do that. But I encourage, obviously, everyone on this channel wants to improve. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, unless you're coming for the entertainment. And if you're coming to the entertainment, then that's fine. But maybe that's not great long term. So I found that interesting. I found it fascinating that there are similar principles. So you get the same principle with doing a long distance run. Let me give some examples. Please get your questions in, right? I really want to help more of you. The best way that I can help all of you today is by sharing my life experience. And that's true. So when I first started running again, I was poor at it, right? I was pretty good at running years ago, but that was a long time ago, right? We could all go back in the past. But when I started again after my mental health breakdown around 2019, you know, COVID came. I got this kind of passion back. I wanted to start losing weight. I had a vision to help more people, to get the weight off, help others, share this story that I'm still sharing. I kind of was feeling a bit impatient. I felt like, oh, I did all this when I was younger. Why have I got to do this again? Oh, I don't want to start over again. It's kind of not fair. We can all relate to that, especially if you've worked hard at something and you were successful at some point. But, you know, life, the truth doesn't care for that. The reality is, when I started again, I was overweight and I was so unfit. Like, I thought I was fit, but I wasn't. So I'm like 45 pounds overweight in that period. I'm over 200 pounds. I've got a double chin. I've got a big belly. You know, all my clothes are bigger. And I'm unfit. So I start running again outside, and it's horrible. It's just horrible. I'm not enjoying it. It doesn't feel nice. And I can't, I'm tired after 15, 20 minutes. I can barely do half an hour. I'm kind of like quitting. I'm not fully committed to it. I'm half-hearted. And then I come back and I feel disappointed because I know deep down that I've got a long way to go, and I almost want to start running and be where I was at years ago, and that's not possible. Because obviously when I was fit, I was boxing full-time pretty much, consistently. Maybe not full-time, might not be fully accurate, but consistently. And I was fit and I was slim and I was 25. And then I started back running at like 36, and I'm like 50 pounds heavier than when I was younger, and I've not been training for years, and I've just come from a mental health breakdown on medication. So the reality is I've got to start over again. And I knew that, so I quit for a while. I kind of rationalized it and put the running off and did some push-ups and other things that were kind of comfortable but challenging. Then I thought, you know what, I got the bug back for it. I saw I got inspired by David Goggins, Ronnie O'Sullivan, other runners that I saw, boxers. I got the fire back, and I understood what it took. So I just started to accept that for a while I'm going to hate it. It's going to be kind of like not enjoyable. So I started to do it again, and when I thought about doing this for other people, that's when it started to feel a lot more enjoyable. My original goal was, I'm not really running for me, I'm running to help others. I'm telling a story that's important, which is anybody that's determined can come back from a mental health breakdown, and that story's now evolved into anyone can come back from pretty much most things if they're willing to not give up. There's always hope. So I begin this process again of running, just taking my time, putting the videos out, and I slowly start to experience a little bit of peace after. It feels good to inspire all of you or people on the channel, put those accountability videos up, and I started to remember, I remember the process now, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that it does take time, but with patience and hard work and the right goals and the right mindset and wanting to help a lot of people, you can get there. And that's what I started to do, and I started to enjoy the runs. The weight started to come off. I started to get a little bit fitter, and I really enjoyed that experience of the peace that you get after the run, taking the shower, and then being able to, get into bed, relax, go to sleep, go to work, whatever. So understanding the process helps a lot. Understanding why you're doing it, what your reasons are, what it requires, what it takes, what you're going to gain out of it, what other people are going to gain out of it, makes you a better person, makes you appreciate life. If you get disciplined in one area, you can be disciplined in all areas, or a lot more chance of doing that. So, like I said, I struggled to do 20 minutes of running when I first started. Half an hour was like a big achievement, and that's still good. But now I've gone from, I can do half an hour easy now at a much faster pace, with great form, with gratitude, with a good mental health when I'm running. I love it. And my longest time so far is 1 hour and 45 minutes. So the next time I'm going to aim for 2 and further, but I've built up. And that was struggling at 20 to 30 minutes running. Now I can do an hour. I could probably do an hour and a half now, pretty comfortable. Let's see, I did an hour and 45, but I can do an hour easily, 45 at a very good pace. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. And if you watch my videos, you'll see the transformation of the weight loss. You'll see the positivity in the run. You can do it, anyone can do it. So that's helped me to build more mental toughness and resilience. And it educates you more as well. That's what I love about all this stuff. It's not intellectual, it's you live it. You become intelligent through experience. You become intelligent through awareness. You become intelligent through getting your mind stronger and more focused. It's not the same as reading a book. Reading a book doesn't give you the intelligence and the mental strength and the development that physical training does, that taking practical action, like staying in a sauna for 30 minutes, cold showers, public speaking, selling, starting a business, helping people, running up hills, training in the boxing gym, weightlifting, mixed martial arts, MMA, all these beautiful different arts that are honest, integral, and amazing for developing the human mindset and human spirit and changing your whole life. This is how you change your life. So that's another explanation. mentorship wise. And the incentive, well, at least for me and my clients and what I'm trying to, hopefully all of you will get, the incentive is the growth. It's the growth. You grow. Some of you might say, well, what does that mean? What does growth mean? Great. Let me challenge myself, try and explain that. So what does it mean to grow? What does growth mean? Well, it doesn't mean like growing in height, even though obviously when we're younger, we do grow, but it means growing stronger, becoming better. So let me give you an example of growth, right, in different areas. This helps me to teach and articulate more. So let's say, for example, I can speak about a client, many clients. So my client, James, who's doing my 1-year program, he's doing 2 1-year programs, right? James is amazing. Now, James is growing a lot. Since I met him, an example of that is his communication when we do the sessions, how much more honest and confident, and what he's doing, you know, traveling to other countries, meeting, doing events with like-minded people. He's going to different countries. For someone who's got anxiety, that's a lot of growth. He's going to the gym, he's getting up early, he's growing as a person, he's mature, he's growing strong, he's developing. So that's an example. My client Phil has grown a business, a successful business in 6 to 8 months, and his confidence, his speaking, he's grown as a person. When I first met him, of course, he was shy, like I was. He was a bit, I wouldn't say he was awkward, but he was not that confident. He was shy, he was scared. Now he's very confident because he's running a business. It's brilliant. He's worked hard. He's done loads of events. He goes to the gym. He's making money in his business. He's changing people's lives. He's putting out his stuff on social media. So he's growing as a person. So that's growth. Growth is like, you know, where you grow stronger. You have more confidence. Now, another example of growth is losing weight. If you're what I was, 40, 30 pounds overweight, or whatever your weight is, if you lose 5 pounds, that's growth. You've grown as a person. Yeah, you've lost weight, but you've grown spiritually. You've put the work in, you've got results. You've improved, your attitude's improved. Another example was someone who come on the stream that's new to the channel. I've not met him in person, but he seems like a great guy. He found my channel. He was struggling with procrastination in his life. I think he said to me that he's a married man, which is great, family man. He's got his career, but he's procrastinating. It's causing him a lot of pain and stress and depression. I gave him an exercise. I said, every morning make your bed. That's all I want you to do for now. He said, oh, thanks, man. I've been doing what you said. I feel a lot better. One exercise, he's grown. He's grown because he's doing a habit that he didn't used to do before. So growth can be in such small, simple things. Another example for people that are struggling with diet. So some fruit, some berries, some water. I've grown because a couple of years ago, I wouldn't be drinking water. I'll be having fizzy drinks all the time. And I wouldn't be eating. I mean, I like fruit when I was younger, but not this level of fruit in my diet. So, you know, growth is like real tangible changes in your lifestyle, your habits, and your character as well, your attitude. So sometimes there's certain growth that we attain that people don't see because it's not visible to begin with. So, you know, like you could say, you can see when someone has grown in terms of, let's say that, yeah, they put some muscle on, so they've grown bigger muscles. Great, that is growth. There's spiritual growth, but you can see it visibly. But there's growth that you can't always see, but I can see, I can sense it. When you know someone and you see that they are more mature. Let's say, for example, some people maybe get angry easily. They get triggered, they get angry all the time. It doesn't take much for them to lose a temper and get angry. And then obviously if you keep doing that, you're not going to have a great life like that. But if someone's gone to therapy and then all of a sudden you meet that person or you know that person, you're like, man, you've grown. You've really improved. You're calmer. You've got more control over your emotions. It's great. So, you know, growth is amazing. That's what makes life better. But when people are not growing, that's when people feel depressed. That's when they get stuck, procrastinate. resentful, all those things. So all the things that I mentor and teach throughout the programs and is all about helping people to grow, become a better person. Another example of growth is, I see this with a lot of people. I had it and I work on it and improved a lot, and my clients do. Some of you may want to take note of this. People can be very antisocial, very miserable to other people because they're not happy in their life. And that can be selfish, because even though you might not be happy, things are not going the way that you want, you can still find the courage and the character to still be nice to other people. You do your best, right? And that's growth. If you could say, well, let's say a person would say for the last 10 years of their life, they've realized that they were always moody, miserable, and they might outrightly not be rude to people, but they're kind of passively aggressive. When they go into different shops and places like that, they're not friendly with people, they're no manners, or just moody. So if someone becomes aware of that and goes, wow, I feel guilty about that, I'm going to change that. Like, even though my life may not be going well, I don't want to treat people like that. I want to be a better person. I want to have a better character. So I'm going to make a conscious effort every time I go into a shop, or my local shops where I go, or coffee shop, whoever's serving me, I'm going to be friendly and nice, polite, do my best. That's growth. If you've been in a pattern for 10 years where you've been moody, not communicative, resentful, passively aggressive, and then after 10 years you get mentorship, you watch a video of mine, you become aware of a pattern, you want to change it, and you change it, that's massive growth. That is like really, really great stuff. And sometimes people undervalue these things because they think, oh, that's not as popular as having 5 cars and 10 jets and being a social media star, which that's not something that doesn't excite me or impress me. But it actually is better in the long run, because having a good character is priceless. Priceless. To have a better character and to grow and improve as a person, in my experience, priceless. So there's different measurements of growth. It's not always like physical things that you see based on how someone looks or their six-pack or things like that. There's some merit in that. Being in shape can be great. And I like being in shape, keeping in shape. I always did. But it's not everything. It's not everything if you don't have a good attitude and you don't, work on the values that I teach. I try and practice every day. It's not easy in a difficult world with people that cannot have the same values and be unfriendly, but treat people how I want to be treated. But also not let anyone walk all over me. Don't let anybody walk all over me. I'm not going to be bullied. I used to be bullied when I was younger. Not do that to other people. Have boundaries. That's great values. It's honest. It's fair. Obviously, that's work. Practice it every day. So this is daily, this stuff. So I call it the daily discipline routine or program. And the word that I have to mention comes to mind right now: patience. A lot of people don't build mental toughness because impatience, again, when I was in the sauna, impatience visits you. It haunts you. It does come. How long are we going to be in here for? This is not pleasurable. This is boring. This is stressful. I don't like this. I don't want to be in here. Recognize that conversation? I want to get out of here. I want to go home. I want to be comfortable, whatever. I want to escape. I want to watch Netflix. I want to eat cakes. All those mental toughness. No, we're going to stay in it. Same in any situation that's difficult, but that's how you get stronger. And then you appreciate life when you're not in a hot sauna under stress, or running up a hill, or doing a marathon run, or, working your backside off in your business or your career, providing for your family or for yourself or your clients. So you have more gratitude. And that's something that I see today that lacks in the whole society and culture, that people lack gratitude. They lack humility, that's for sure. That's an understatement, because they don't appreciate things, because they're not giving enough, they're not kind enough, they're not accountable, and they're not challenging themselves in a way which is healthy, which would make you a better person. It would make you appreciate what you have got. rather than always complaining and focusing on what you don't have or comparing to the next person, which is a weakness in character. It's a weak character to focus your whole life on being envious of other people having more than you. It's selfish. It's human nature. Until you change it, you can change it. I did. Many have done it. My clients do. Some of you have. Hopefully more will. It's a waste of life. It's a waste of life. It's a waste of life being jealous of other people when you can change your life, focus on what you got. And you don't know them. That's the thing. Just because someone appears to have more than you, and they might have more than you, but you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their challenges are. They might have bigger challenges than you've got in your life, despite they might have more money or more success or more confidence, but you don't know. You don't know them. You only know a small snippet of what you see on a video. So it's good to focus on your life, how you can improve you, the kind of person that you want to be, a positive person. Otherwise, what's the point of doing all this stuff to not become a better person or appreciate who you are and to enjoy life more? But cool, I also respect that this way of life is not for everyone, and most people, I think if you did most people in our society wouldn't agree with what I'm saying, which is fine, but the ones who do, and I like living my life like this. I like keeping fit, training, developing, growing as a person, practicing gratitude, becoming a better person, the same way we grow in age. Some people grow up in age, but they don't grow in maturity because they don't work on improving themselves and taking responsibility and being more honest and accountable. So for me, just to elaborate some of the mindsets and the practices that I live by and what motivate me, I always want to improve myself because then I can give more to other people. If I make myself a better person, I can give more of what I've already got. And I see that with my clients that are lovely to work with. They're kind people. So if you start to say to yourself, well, I don't quite know what my motivation is. If you can't find a motivation for you, your motivation should be to give back to others, give more. That's one of the best things in life, is giving. Obviously in the right way, with the right boundaries. It doesn't mean being a doormat and letting people be toxic and wear your mental health down, but it means giving according to wisdom. There is a right time to give and there is a time to say no. And there's a place of generosity, and that's a great thing. And that's friendship or mentorship. And that's what Les Brown done for me through him being successful and helping so many people, sharing his story on a video. It inspired me. It inspired positive change in me all those years ago. So some of the motivations can be really helpful if it's also you want to, you're going to run the extra mile because you want to be a better person. You want to help someone, or you want to make a positive example to your community. Or you just want to inspire people or connect with people that are on the same set of values that you are. It motivates me every day. And also it's obviously nice for you, for all of you as individuals to, be proud of yourself in a healthy way, not unhealthy pride, but appreciate who you are and what you've got in your life and how you have grown as a person. So I hope I explained some of what it means to grow or improve or mature. Mature is another word that I found to be accurate with growing. You mature more, become more authentic as an individual. But yeah, to summarize this talk as we're closing towards the end, I found that when you do intense training, you feel great after. If you go on an hour run, especially if you keep making progress, I need to make that distinction. So obviously it would be great now if this live stream, because I know there's time differences, could motivate men and women to go for a run now. Obviously we'd make sure, at the appropriate, that you're safe, there's people around, if it's dark, if it's light in your country. It'd be brilliant if you go for an hour run. But what would be even more better if you commit to doing it for life or for a year, like I keep saying, so you could really grow. Because as you know, you can't just go, well, I'm going to eat a packet of blueberries and be healthy one day and then for the next 6 months just eat takeaways. it's not consistent enough, is it? So you need consistency, but it starts off with one step at a time, one session, 1 hour at a time, one day at a time, and then you build up. So I've had a lot of questions on the channel recently of people saying, how do I be disciplined? How do I stick at things? Or why do I keep stopping and starting? And a lot of the things that I've gone over in today's mentorship conversation would be the answer to a lot of the questions that you've got. But I'd say it comes from a lack of commitment. It's all about being committed. If you're not committed to sticking at something, then you're not going to do it. There's nothing I could say to change that. Maybe there is, but generally you've got to be committed. A teacher or a mentor, anybody pretty much outside of you, and personally I believe maybe God, but even with God's help, I think we have a responsibility. You know, God gives us life, but you have to be committed. No one can give you that. Only you can give that to yourself. So you have to be committed to, whether it's losing weight, whether it's building a business, whether it's helping people, whether it's improving your diet, beating an addiction, turning your life around, improving your emotional problems, your anger, resentment, healing, etc. Whatever it is, boxing or your career, or studying at university, there's something that you really want to study and you want to major in, you've got to be committed. Because if you're not committed, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to enjoy it. You don't enjoy things when you're not committed. When you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it's torture. There's no growth in that. That actually sets you back. So as much as growing is great, there is the opposite to that. Some people actually get worse. I'm trying to change that because they don't do anything. They just stay stuck. It's sad. And I've been through that myself in my life. So it's not like, oh, if I don't challenge myself, no, you can get worse. It can get worse by not doing anything, which is why it's so important, I say on this channel, to take the necessary steps. Number one is get help if you need it. Getting help is a strength, not a weakness. And number two is, practice discipline. Start off at one step at a time. Don't compare yourself to other people. You're never going to be happy that way. As soon as you do that, you put yourself in misery. And there's always someone better or someone worse off. But if you focus on you, then you'll always win. You can always be better. The mindset should be, how can I be a better person each and every day? How can I give more to other people? If you've got that mindset, you have no time to compare to other people. But most people are in a negative mindset. The mindset is jealousy, envy. I want to be better than that person. How comes they've got more than me? Well, because you lack humility. You lack discipline. You're not grateful for who you are because you've not developed yourself. You have not worked on your insecurities. And you're not controlling your anger and resentment. If you can't be happy for someone else, then you've got to work your issues out. You've got to get some therapy, unless you want to stay like that. I wouldn't recommend it. So that's the reason why most people are in that mindset, because it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's just, there's nothing you've got to do to feel like that. It's human nature until you change it, and you can. Even, the kindest of person, if they don't work on themselves, they're going to have those feelings. It comes with being human. Envying someone that you think's doing better than you and being jealous of them and feeling like it's not fair. But again, you don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know that usually, that most cases, they're a good person. They worked hard and you didn't work hard. And that's why they've got what you want and you haven't got it yet. You've not worked hard enough, or you're not honest enough. Or maybe you have got a lot of things, some things that they don't have, but you're not grateful for it. So it's understanding more about life and these things we're talking about today, having the courage to face your anxieties and experience more peace, more gratitude, and to become a better person. But I do understand, like I said, it's not easy. It's challenging. It's challenging being human. And it's challenging, life challenging. But that's why you got to work at having faith, gratitude, communication, service to other people, making the bed in the morning, getting the fundamentals right of daily living, watering the plants. These little things make you feel better. They make you stronger. And accepting days that we all get where you feel down, things are not going well. I get those days too. I get those days regularly, but I also get a lot of days where I feel great, I feel grateful. But even on a down day, I'll still find at least a couple of hours to connect and find gratitude. Even more so on a down day, high levels of gratitude. So just because you're down doesn't mean that you can't be peaceful and be grateful. You can. I've done it. I'm living it. Other people are doing it. All right, Eddie? So today, if you come on the stream a bit late, you can watch it back. I gave the analogy again of the sauna. I went in a sauna today again for 30 minutes. It was challenging, but I got great peace when I came out because of withstanding the challenge and the stress and the mental battle that I had to go through and grow through. And I gave examples also of running. If you start to go for runs and you build up stamina and you get fitter over time and you start to increase the intensity, you'll experience great peace and gratitude from running. You can also do it through weight training, bodybuilding. You can definitely do it through boxing, mixed martial arts, sparring, the training, getting into that threshold of an intense situation. It might even just be for a couple of minutes, but you really grow like that. I also explained the distinction that someone can train for 2 hours, which is fantastic in itself, but there's no intensity. Where someone can come in, that's quality over quantity, right? Reminds me of, I really like Lee Haney. I need to speak more about Lee Haney. Maybe some of you don't know that. He was a big inspiration for me growing up. Good story about Lee Haney. I bought his DVDs by accident, right? I was at the time, I was living at my nan's. It was a great time in my life. I was working through a lot of insecurities, but I was very happy, very driven, good friends around. And I was watching Bruce Lee, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the whole bodybuilding scene, Pumping Iron. And I bought Pumping Iron and enjoyed it. And I went down to H&M where they used to sell DVDs when I used to get paid. I was working as a postman at the time, living at my nan's. So when I got my payday, I would treat myself and get a Chinese and buy some DVDs. So I was looking for more videos on bodybuilding and I couldn't find it. And I was really upset because I wanted more videos on Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I just love those guys. Schwarzenegger, Rich Gaspari, Pumping Iron. I couldn't find it. And I didn't even know who Lee Haney was. I never heard of him. And I saw the DVD and I was like, I don't know who that guy is. I'm probably not going to buy that, right? Because at the time, again, that's why we make mistakes. I didn't know who he was. I was looking for Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Lee. And basically what happened was I bought all the Bruce Lee DVDs. So there was nothing more to buy on Bruce Lee. I was like gutted. And there was nothing more on Schwarzenegger. But I thought, bodybuilding, who's Lee Haney? I saw this guy on the front. Said and I think it said, he was like 8-time champion. I was like, really? I was like, so he's got more than Arnold Schwarzenegger because Arnold Schwarzenegger won it 7 times, right? Haney 8. So something told me to buy it. I remember thinking I'm not going to enjoy it, but I bought it anyway. Listen to this. I got home, I put it on. I just loved him. I was like, this guy's amazing, man. He does remind me a bit of Les Brown. He's got a good soul. He's a good person. I could sense that. He's very positive. He's just a good person. And the things that he said made sense. I was like, oh, I get it. That's why he was a champion. Because there's lots of bodybuilders that I like, but he's different. And he would say quality over quantity. Maybe I don't do his voice as good. Maybe I do. So quality over quantity is important. Back to what I said. You can train for 2 hours, but the quality might not be that great. And I've done that. We're always learning, right? Humbling. But someone can train for an hour, but the quality is fantastico. Or 5 minutes, because there's intensity. Where there's quality and intensity, there will be growth. But where there's no intensity, where you're deceiving yourself, there won't be that much growth. Example, someone could go on the punch bag, the heavy bag, for 10 minutes, which is pretty good, or half an hour, right? But there's no intensity. But if someone goes on the bag all out for 2 minutes, that could be more growth. Because although you could say, yeah, but that person did 30 minutes on the bag, or she did 30 minutes on the bag and he just did 2 minutes. More is better. No, not always. Quality, Lee Haney. Quality, not quantity. Sometimes quantity and quality. So that's where the growth comes in the intensity. Yeah, man. Ronnie Coleman as well, though, right? Ronnie Coleman 8, Lee Haney 8, Schwarzenegger 7. If I'm correct, Dorian Yates 6 or 5. I think it's 6 Dorian Yates. I love bodybuilding. They inspired me, big part of my journey. I know a lot of you do. So make sure in your journey with anxiety, confidence, being a better person, your training, your dieting, make sure that you're not deceiving yourself in that you're not putting quality in. I speak to myself as well. We all do it sometimes, we're human, but we try to reduce that and improve. But I would say this, 2 hours of exercise, and of course, some wisdom from my friend Floyd, something's better than nothing. Of course it's better than nothing. Like someone that goes and trains for 2 hours is still amazing. It still takes a lot of commitment rather than someone that doesn't do anything. But at the same time, at a certain point, you've got to be honest. You've got to keep being honest, isn't it? If you want to keep growing and you want to be better and help people. So that's what I loved about one of the things that I learned from the principles from Lee Haney that I applied to life, which was quality, not just quantity. And he would explain about getting the form right, the right amount of reps. He was amazing. Then I would also I learned from Arnold Schwarzenegger. A massive thing I got from Schwarzenegger was amazing, was relentless work ethic. Another sort of Bruce Lee mindset that I've had in me anyway, but to add more to it, remind me of that, was work hard, like believe in yourself, like keep going. Great stuff. What are my plans for the future? To eat this banana and these blueberries. What about yours, Eddie? I don't think ahead too much, because thinking ahead causes suffering, right? And today, one day at a time. I don't even think about the future, one day at a time. But I understand what you're saying. I would answer that question when I was younger, but I'm in a different place now. So quality is important. I need to do videos on that. And I hope that a lot of you, I know you're really smart, but I hope that you understand that I'm not just talking about bodybuilding or boxing or being in a sauna or running up hills, but I'm talking about the principles of life in all areas. That's good. So even on a live stream, for all you YouTubers out there, I really respect and appreciate, because I do YouTube too. It takes a lot of work. Sometimes the fans, or I'm not a big one of fans, but the followers we appreciate, we can't do it without, they don't always realize what we've got to go through and grow through to put this content out, how much we have to suffer with our own mental health, our own emotional health, our own, we have to put in a lot to produce the content to help other people. But I appreciate that, but it's just really being honest about the process. It's not easy. It may look easy because I've been doing this now for 12 years, but it's not easy. And to keep improving the quality, it's there's a level of pain and suffering to get a good result. And again, to get that quality, not quantity, because I can do a live stream for 2-3 hours. It can be pretty good, but I can work on what I'm working on today, which is a high level of quality, which is why I just had to take a deep breath then. And that's why I went into the sauna for half an hour, to take that energy, put it onto the stream, and to have fun as well. As you can see, I'm having a bit of entertainment, but it's true what I'm saying. So whatever you do in life, for those of you that are listening, make sure it's quality. With making the bed, I had a realization the other day, because I make the bed every morning and I encourage others to do it for self-respect, gratitude, mental strength. But the other day I was like, I'm getting a bit complacent. Like I'm making the bed, but the other day I was like, it could be better. Like I could actually so I actually did that, because I was going to leave my flat, right? This is where my OCD can be good, right? And I said, well, I spend a lot of time on other stuff. Why don't I do it on the bed? And I spent a bit more time, made it even better. So that's that quality. I appreciate it, man. It's good to have you back on the stream again. I mentioned you earlier for your progress, your growth. Well done. So yeah, it's that balance. I think I said it to one of you on the stream the other day, that said, where do you draw the line with accepting yourself? And I said, of course it's good to accept, but you've got to be correct. You can't be telling lies and saying, well, I'm not going to improve my life because I've just accepted myself. It's like, well, that might not be good. if your mental health isn't good, if you're not living the best life that you can, and you're not happy and you're suffering, don't accept that. No, don't accept that. You deserve better than that, even if you've got more gratitude. So there is a balance between, of course, you can sit down at the end of the day and say, I really appreciate how far I've come or what I've got. I'm proud of myself. But you can also keep growing, because I know I can do a lot more. I can give more, and I work on that. But I also appreciate what I am doing. So it starts off at one day at a time, just practicing a couple of hours each day of positive suffering, of positive growing, and then you go back into being comfortable again. Like a lot of you're winding down. When I finish this live stream now, I've completed my whole day. I have a client tomorrow. I will chill out. I'm going to be going on someone else's live stream after this, so I can relax, eat some fruit, wind down, and relax. There is a time to rest, of course. There's a time to challenge yourself. So yeah, I've covered a lot today, and I do try to simplify things, because I know that sometimes when people teach, me as well, they explain a lot. It's great information, but it can be overwhelming. Then you come away, you're inspired, but you're like, I don't even know what to do. So I would say for people, just practice for 30 minutes a day, doing something that is quite challenging, that makes you a bit mentally stronger. Whether it's exercising for 30 minutes, going into the sauna, cold shower, cleaning, creating some content in your business, helping someone. Things that are challenging but are also rewarding. Like I said back in the day, I could do a whole seminar on this. Going to boxing was so challenging. Like, a big part of me didn't want to do it. I just thought, I can't do this. I'm not tough enough. I'm not cut out for this. Why am I doing this? Why am I getting on the train? I could be going out with friends at the time and having a drink and having fun, partying, which I did a few times. But I knew deep down I wanted to improve my life. I wanted to gain the wisdom and the growth that I could only gain through doing that particular thing at the time, which was amateur boxing and the sparring. Every Tuesday, Thursday at Fitzroy Lodge, I was literally like, always pooping my pants. I was scared to death of going, because I knew that it was going to be difficult, and I didn't want to face it. Part of me didn't, but another part of me did want to face it. And eventually I did it. Sometimes I didn't do it. I backed out. I got scared. I've said that before. I was a coward. But eventually I got the consistency going, and I felt so good after. I'd come out of the gym feeling like a new man, feeling so confident, so grateful, so happy. I had everything felt great after. I had that amazing peace that I'm experiencing some of that today, which is nice, because I put myself through that challenging experience every Tuesday, every Thursday at Fitzroy Lodge. And when I think about it now, it's crazy to say it, but the sparring rounds were, how long were the rounds? 2 to 3 minutes. I think there might have even been 2-minute rounds. I'm going to say 2 minutes so I don't exaggerate. So 2, 4, 6. On average, they'd put me in and do 3 rounds. Sometimes 4, right? When I boxed at St Pancras, 5. So let's say on average, let's just play it down so I don't exaggerate. So it was only 6 minutes. So for 6 minutes, obviously I'd get the train down to Lambeth from my nan's. I love the train ride. I would train for 2 hours, hit the bag, train, but the sparring was just 6 minutes. 6 minutes, 3 rounds every Tuesday and every Thursday. So in total, 12 minutes. So it's not a long time. You might be thinking, well, it's only 6 minutes. Yeah, but the growth though, the growth that I got in those 6 minutes was massive, because it's intense. It's getting in, having a fight, it's scary. Even though, yeah, people go, it's not really a fight. I don't agree on that. It is a fight. You've got a head guard on, you've got a gum shield, you've got gloves on, and the guys opposite you try and take your head off, and it hurts. It hurts. Sometimes it hurts. I was going to say sometimes it feels good. But the fitness, you come out, you feel like a warrior, and you've got so much respect for your opponent, for each other. Even if they get the better of you, you're just humble after. You feel proud of yourself in a healthy way. You feel calmer, kinder. you have more confidence, you've grown. Because during that 6 minutes, you're under immense amount of stress, immense amount of pressure and stress. You know, you've got people in the gym watching, the gym's full, the trainers are watching you, and you're fighting another opponent. And you want to win. No one wants to lose. And sometimes you do, you know, there's no official winners and losers in sparring, but you know when someone's got the better of you. Sometimes you do get your ass kicked, but you still feel good. You still grow because you went through it. You've grown. You get a little bit stronger each time and a little bit less scared each time. And then you take that growth into your life, in every area of your life. You become a better person because you put yourself through that stressful, challenging, scary, frightening, at times daunting, lonely, terrifying experience, which gives you a peace after, like nothing other, not many other things. I'm not going to say like nothing because I might go a bit deep here, but you know, the peace that I've got through faith and praying, hard to explain, but maybe another video. But most things in life don't give you that, you know. And it's healthy, you know, without using drugs or alcohol. It's pure, it's a beautiful feeling that anyone can get. So you earn it, you know, you earn self-respect, respect of other people. You learn to respect people. So many things that you learn through the physical training of that experience. And so yeah, it's not always about the time, it's the quality, you know. I'm going deep here, which is probably a great thing. And that can be accounted for the time that you spend with people, which is why I love what I do, mentoring people, because usually it's consistently the case where when I mentor a client or work with them, the time that we have is quality. There's not much small talk. There's no BS. It's meaningful. It's changing lives. It's working on fears. I've got to be vulnerable a lot of the time to help clients, show them that I'm no better than them. I'm the same. I just worked hard and kept going. And I can help them if they want help. And they can become better in life. And they help me also. It's the same. And the time's quality. It's quality time. So some of you have pointed out, which is intelligent, like, you know, you've asked me questions like, well, you know, Jonathan, I've been doing this a long time now, working on my life. It's not changing. Or I'm not happy what's going on. Well, maybe the quality needs to improve. And that goes back to, are you grateful? And the truth is, which is okay, we'll change it. Probably most of you are not grateful right now, and I'm trying to help you with that. And I wasn't always grateful either. We're human, we're not perfect, but you can improve that and become grateful. I hope all of you say, no, you're wrong, Jonathan, we are grateful. That's exactly what I want to hear. But the reality is probably it's going to take a bit more time. I'm trying to share more of my story to help you to do that, or get more of you to share your story. If you're grateful, you can help the next person. So having gratitude, the quality, the hard work, you know, the intelligence to rest is what improves it. That's why you got to work on the mindset, because you're right, the world is in a mess. But, you know, we can only change ourselves. We can't effectively change every problem in the world. That's not plausible, but you can change yourself, and that makes a big difference by making the bed, being grateful. Yeah, anyway, we've come to an end now. That was a great way to end it off. I got out, did what I wanted to do today. It's 10 now. I'm going to rest. I have a client tomorrow. I appreciate all of you coming on. The stream turned out great. I'm going to be consistent as I can. So yeah, to be continued, right? Hopefully you got a lot of lessons that you can break down and apply to any area of your life, whether it's health, fitness, diet, career, relationships, accountability, service to others, appreciating the life that you've got. All those things can be found through daily discipline and the practice of daily gratitude. So yeah, thank you for all of you for coming on. I will speak to all of you very soon. And as always, if you are interested in mentorship, you want to do a mentorship program, whether it's in person, on Zoom, I do long-term mentorship for select committed clients, short, medium. I think we covered all of them, and I'll speak to you in the next one. All right, my email address is below if you want to contact me for mentorship. Speak to all of you soon. Good luck. All right, appreciate all of you.